Hey everybody, happy Saturday evening live tutorial stream. How's everybody doing out there wherever you are today? I hope everyone had a lovely Saturday. We had a busy Saturday here at the Beating Dreams, which of course in retail is exactly how you want a Saturday to be. So welcome to the live tutorial stream, which is going to be followed by the live merchandise sales stream. But what are we doing on the tutorial stream today, you might ask? We are doing this. This is a little hair decoration, which I nicknamed Bun Bling. It's kind of a variation on the crystal brain stabbings. You're not actually supposed to stab it into your brain, Mary, just so that's perfectly clear before we start. It's hair stabbings, not necessarily brain stabbings. Though Heather does have a fun story about that. And hat pins, but
yes, it's true.
But yeah, so this is basically our crystal vine technique, which we've done in a couple of different tutorials before. And so we're going to be using some crystals and some wire to make this cool little hair forky bit. And yes, hair forky bit is absolutely, completely, and totally technical term. So let's talk about tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. All right, you're going to need some wire, all right, and you're going to need 2 different gauges of wire. You're going to need a thicker wire for the actual hair fork bit, so that's going to be 14, or a 16 gauge wire. I grabbed 16, so that is what I'm doing on stream tonight. I'm pretty sure this prototype was, thanks Amy, right, this was 14. So 14 or 16 for the actual hair fork bit, and then 24 or 26 for the actual vine part. This is 26 on my prototype. I want it to be a little sturdier, so I'm actually going to try 24 for my project this evening. You're going to need beads, so you're going to need some smaller beads. I have these 4mm crystal rounds that I'm going to use for the majority of my little vines, and then you're going to need some accent cool stuff for the center, and that can really be whatever you want. So I've got some teardrop crystals, and I haven't quite picked which ones I'm going to use because I have, you know, this whole bowl of them. And then I like kind of one accent in the center, and I'm going to try and use this pretty little rose, hematite rose, for the middle. As far as tools go, you're just going to need your basics. So that's going to be your round nose pliers and your chain nose pliers, and of course your wire cutter. I've got my heavy duty wire cutter because of that 16 gauge wire. And also, yes, thank you Amy for noticing my new backdrop. We're experimenting, always trying to make things a little bit better here on the Beating Dreams stream. So this is experiment number 1 of new backdrops. I have several different ones. So we'll see. We may have backdrop changing in the, you know, we may have rotating backdrops for the foreseeable future until I figure out which one I like. But so far I do like this one. Definitely, yeah. So this one definitely has potential. Okay, so let's start with making our hair fork. And so, yeah, this tutorial really is kind of about 2 parts. First of all, you got your hair fork, which you can make and embellish however you want. Sorry, that's the blood blister I gave myself on stream a couple of days ago. And then you've got the little vine technique, which you can use to embellish anything, including an already made hair fork or comb. So you don't necessarily have to use these together. So I'm going to start with my 16 gauge wire, and how long you make your hair fork is really up to you. This one is just shy of 4 inches long. And I do need to point out that, you know, for those of us, you know, with long hair, this is really an adornment. It's not a holder. Okay, so this is not something that really will hold your hair in place. This is something that, you know, you put in your head to make your hair look pretty while other things are holding it in place. Okay, so this really isn't, it's not one of those hair forks that you can, you know, twist your hair up and, you know, no, this is strictly decorative, okay, for decorative use only. So this one's about 4 inches long, which I find is a good size for a kind of a decorative hair fork, because if you make them too long, they just kind of stick out the bottom of your bun and then they just look weird. So I'm going to start with 8 inches of my 16 gauge wire. 8 inches or a little bit more. I'm actually going to cut 8.5 just because. I used to be really good at using sticky things to keep my hair up back in high school. And I still can with like pencils and things. But back in high school, I was the queen of the hair sticks. I don't know if we have any strands of chips, Amy.
I'll see what I can find.
But we'll see what we can find in between streams. Okay, so we're going to start with our 16 gauge wire, and we're going to go ahead and bend it in half. So what did I do? I did a little bit more than 8 inches. So this is the middle, and you could do this with your bare hands if you definitely want to, but I'm going to use my little ring mandrel to help me just bend a nice curve. So I'm going to place that on my ring mandrel, and I'm just going to bend that in half so that I have a nice little curve at the top of it. And then I'm going to straighten out these two ends of my wire. So when you've got your wire and it's curving, like you can see how it's curving here, to straighten that out, all you need to do is you just take your fingers and you're going to pinch the wire and you're going to run your fingers along the wire, and what you want to do is just put pressure in opposition to the curve, and that will give you a nice straight piece of wire. So what I have now is, kind of your typical hairpin shape. I do want my ends to be even. They're not at the moment, so I'm just going to nip off the longer one, like so. And then I find that it holds in my hair is like puny, pukey fine. Like it is the softest, silkiest, like bodiless-est hair on the planet. So I find in my little, kind of baby fine mop up here, that if I make some bends in this hair fork, it's going to hold better. It just gives it a little bit more, kind of oomph when you're grabbing on it. Now, I don't typically pay a whole lot of attention to making these symmetrical. I'll just kind of go for it. So I'm going to go down about 1.5 inches or so down on my hair fork, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to literally bend it out, and then in, and then out, and then back in. So I'm just trying to make a gentle wave here, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I want them to be opposing, so out, in, out, in. Okay, and if it looks a little wonky, that's totally okay. If you look at my prototype, you'll notice that it's not actually symmetrical with the wavy bits at all. And what I do want to do is I want to take the bottom of the wavy bits, and I do want to make sure that that is going straight down, like so. So I'm just going to do that last little bend with my chain nose. Okay, so there is my little hair fork. Now, if you wanted to hammer this, you absolutely could, especially in the 16 gauge wire. It would give it a little bit more body, a little bit more oomph. And then the other thing you want to do, and once again, as somebody with super baby fine hair that just likes to rip out at the slightest provocation, I am going to grab some 320 grit sandpaper and I'm going to sand the ends of this until they are blunt, okay? Because otherwise they will catch on your hairs and they will rip them out of your head. Exactly. See, you don't want that. That is no bueno. Amy, yes, this is for decorative use only. This is not for supporting the weight of hair. This is for prettiness, not for structure. But still, you don't want it to rip your hairs out when you put it in your head, 'cause that's no fun. Okay, there we go. All right, so now these are nice and blunt, and I can just test that. Stick it in my head. Make sure there's no ripping happening. Nope, everything feels good. Okay, so this is just my basic hair fork, and so I could really embellish this however I please, but for tonight I've chosen to do the crystal vine technique, which is again this one. And make that a gift. Oh Lorda. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do to embellish. So when you're doing this technique, you are going to use up wire really, really fast. So each of these pieces of wire, and this is actually 5 separate pieces of wire that are all wrapped onto the back of this little hair fork. And each of these pieces of wire is a solid 2+ feet long. All right, so I felt like I kind of came up short. I would have liked to make more little kind of sprouts on this when I was doing my prototype. So I'm actually going to cut myself 3 feet of wire, because you can always cut it off, but you can't magically make it grow longer. And I'm going to do 5 of these. So 1. And again, so I have chosen to make them 3 feet long. Okay, you don't have to make yours that long, but once again, I would much rather have too much wire than not enough wire. So that's 2. Three, and again, I'm doing 5 strands. You don't have to do 5 strands. You can do however many strands you want. Would you like a tray for those? Sure. There you go. She found some, Amy. 3. This is 4. Oh dear. Well, now that's on the floor. And 5. Have this like sculpture of wire going on here. Okay, so again, for anybody who is just joining us, welcome to the Beating Dreams Saturday evening live tutorial stream. We are so happy to have you here on the Beating Dreams stream. We are doing this. This is our Bun Bling tutorial. It's a little decorative hair fork. Again, just decorative, not structural. Okay, so if you're gonna make this and wear it, you need to have something else actually holding up your hairs, like bobby pins or a proper clip or something like that. But it's a really pretty fun little decorative bit. So we've already made our actual hair fork part out of 16 gauge wire. You could also use 14 gauge. And once again, you could hammer this if you wanted to. I've chosen not to, mostly because I didn't bring a bench block over here to my work area today for streaming, but you absolutely could hammer this. The benefits of hammering are that your hair fork will be sturdier. Still won't be sturdy enough to support the entire weight of your hair, but it will be sturdier if you hammer it than it will if you don't. And then I've cut myself 5 pieces of my 24 gauge wire. You can use 24 or 26 for your little decorative piece, and I've chosen 24 for this evening's stream. And I cut my pieces 3 feet long. That's because you do go through wire really quickly when you're doing this vine technique. All right, so I'm going to start with my 4mm crystals, and I'm just going to grab one of my 4mm crystals. I'm going to put that onto my 24 gauge wire, and I'm going to bring it to the middle. Okay, so I've got that at the middle of my wire right here, and then I'm just going to pinch that, and I'm going to grab this bead, and I'm just going to twist it. So I'm twisting the bead. So I'm pinching like the Dickens with these 2 fingers, my index finger and my thumb of my left hand, and with my right hand, I'm grabbing that crystal and I'm twisting it. So what I have made is this little twisted section right here. And that is my first little sprout. Now I'm going to start making my sprouts on my side wires. So I'm going to grab another crystal, and I'm going to thread that onto my wire. Doesn't matter which wire, we are going to alternate wires so that we wind up even. So I'm going to just put it on one of these wires. I'm going to take that wire, I'm going to fold it like so. Okay, so fold it in half, pinch again, and then twist your bead. And you want to make sure that you're only twisting however much you need to fill up the space from the bead to where your wires come together. Because if you twist too much, if you just go to town with the twisting, you can actually break your wire, and that's not what we want. Now what I need to do is I need to make a little bit of space. So if we look at the sprouts on here, they're not all coming out from the same spot on our wire. We need a little bit of travel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to,
Don't go to town.
Oh, don't go to town. Exactly. Stay away from town. So I'm going to go about half an inch, maybe a little less than half an inch. Once again, pinch, and then I'm going to take this whole sprout that I'm making, and I'm going to twist it, and that is going to make my little travel. Now, I'm going to have, at this point, invariably, you're going to have a short and a long wire. Okay, so this is my long one, this is my short one. I want to go ahead and use my long one to make my next sprout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep alternating, always using the longer wire, and that's going to help me use my wire evenly. So I've got my bead. I'm going to set it half an inch, 3/8 of an inch from, you know, what I'm calling the stem of my vine. That just depends on how big you want these sprouts to be. So however far away you set this, that's how long your sprout's going to be. Fold it over so that your bead is at the end of the fold, like so. Pinch and twist. There we go. Now, once again, we need to make some travel, so I'm going to hold and I'm going to twist this whole thing. And usually anywhere from 5 to 7 twists is good. Now, do I have a short one and a long one? I do. All right, so I'm going to grab the long one. I'm going to take one of my crystals, thread that on there. Again, set it 3/8 of an inch away, fold it and twist, and then bring these two together, pinch and twist. So this technique, really, that's all there is to it. We're just going to keep doing this. So again, I'm going to find the long one and smack my camera apparently. I'm going to find the long one, I'm going to add a bead, I'm going to fold in half and twist, and then pull them together, and twist. So now we're at the point in the tutorial where I have shown you the stuff and the things, and now we are just going to keep doing the things and the stuff until I've done all 5 of these strands. I'm going to try and kind of clip through this so that we can get to the sales stream. So for anybody who doesn't know what's coming up next on this channel, twitch.tv/beingdream, of course it is Saturday evening. That means that it is time for our Sips Shopping and Shenanigans sale. So I've got a couple of fun things that are going to be going on this channel in just about an hour or so. So of course the funnest thing is beads. I've got some fun beads. I'm going to continue with Rando Strandos for you on the Beading Dreams stream because they did so well on Wednesday. So we got more Rando Strandos. We've got that $10 and $15 price point of the Rando Strandos, and I might grab a few more $5 Rando Strandos as well. We also have discounted clearance Bollywood Bead Company necklace sets. These are gorgeous, and we'll be offering these at 25% off on tonight's stream. That is a special deal straight from Mr. Bollywood himself. Very exciting because as you are probably aware, we usually don't discount trunk show stuff. So this is a special discount offer on the Bollywood Bead Company merchandise. We also have, apparently, chip strands are going to be on the sale tonight as well, per Amy's request. So lots of fun stuff coming up on the Beading Dreams stream after we have finished the tutorial. So you can make this as long as you want to, or as short as you want to. So I'm going with, all right, I made it about 3 inches long, and I did substantially overcut, so I could have made it longer, but just looking at the time, I'm going to go with 3 inches is good. So I'm going to set this one aside and do my next one. So once again, how do we start this? We grab our piece of wire. We're going to take one of our crystals. We're going to thread that onto our wire like so. I mean, there's really no like so here. You thread it through the hole in the crystal and it's on the wire. Then you're going to find the middle of your wire. Oh, seafood lasagna. Dang it. Why do I gotta be so mean? So do you make, or is the seafood lasagna, Lori, with a red sauce, or does it have like a white sauce? Mary had salmon and green beans. Okay, so I fold it in half, and now I'm gonna twist. All right, I had like 20 cold McDonald's French fries, and that's pretty much it for what I've eaten today. I didn't have breakfast.
I had at least
but that was a while ago.
McDonald's French fries.
All right, so then I'm gonna take my next crystal, and again, this is going on the long wire. So you know, once you've done your twisting, just line up your wires and take a look. Oh, Heidi made chili and, well, where's mine, Amy? That's what I want to know.
Can't eat the cornbread, lady.
Well, I could eat the chili and you could eat the cornbread.
See, that's perfect. You're right.
Yeah, see, we make a good team.
Yeah.
Duh.
I don't know why.
I was going to say, I don't know what you were thinking there. Okay, so now I need to make my travel. So I'm going to hold these together. And once again, you can make that travel as long or short as you want. So we're just going to twist. Oh, okay, Amy, I was actually just kidding. Like, you don't have to get in your car just to bring Heather and I chili and cornbread. Like, I don't know that we could possibly love you any more than we already do. So if you are tired from swimming, you should kick back and relax because you deserve it. I'm very excited. I get to have swimming day tomorrow as well. And by swimming, I mean mostly bobbing in the pool with beverages. I know you would, Amy, but you relax, girlfriend. You deserve it. But yeah, so tomorrow, me and a bunch of my friends get to go float in a fancy swimming pool that does not belong to us, that we have rented by the hour with beverages. And it's going to be an excellent time. Very much looking forward to it. I know, Swimply is the best. For anybody out there who doesn't, okay, so I'm just continuing with this twisting procedure. Twisting is something completely different. But yeah, anybody who doesn't, who is in a city that Swimply services that doesn't know about it, Swimply is pretty awesome. It's basically like Airbnb for people with fancy swimming pools. It's literally, or any swimming pools. I don't know. I don't know if it's, there we go. Amy just put the Swimply link up in the Twitch chat. But yeah, like, I feel like maybe to be on Swimply, do you have to have, don't tryst with that thing, it would be painful. Mary is not wrong. You can drink for that now, or you can save that for later, which, by the way, since it is our Sips, Shopping, and Shenanigans stream, on the Beating Dreams stream this evening, we are continuing, we are unpausing Martini Month, and I'm going to use the beautiful new Martini glasses. Oh, no, I didn't do it yet, Mary. Shoot. Nope, that's my whoops. So, yeah, we're doing Keyline Martinis tonight. So, it's, here. I will MooBot it, and can you tell them the recipe while I put it in the MooBot?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a Heather cam.
Oh, goodness.
And she's going
it first.
She's going to tell you the recipe whilst I type it into the MooBot so that you can have it printed out in the chat. You're on Heather camera.
Okay. I'm still looking up the recipe.
That's okay. We'll watch you do that.
Okay.
We will stare creepily at you on the internet.
Perfect. I love it when people stare creepily at me on the internet. So the recipe that we are using, we have also actually altered because Allison does not like coconut milk or coconut of any variety.
Of any sort.
So,
no coconut. Yeah.
So we have, sorry, there's a lot of talking in this recipe.
Here.
I'm almost there.
Okay, but I made a graphic.
Okay. Oh, well, she made a graphic. So, Keyline Martini, 2 ounces vanilla vodka. We made our own. And by we, I mean Allison put vanilla beans in vodka. 0.5 ounces key lime juice. 2 tablespoons coconut cream. We're using actually condensed milk instead of coconut cream. 1 ounce pineapple juice. 1 ounce heavy cream. And rim a glass with graham cracker crumbs. Shake all ingredients with ice, strain, and serve.
All right, and now Twitch has decided that it doesn't like me anymore, even though I'm currently streaming live and I can't log into MooBot without the token that they texted me. Twitch is very, very into their security tokens.
When do I get to be off? Am I off? Am I off yet?
You are off. It's just my face now.
Okay.
But I typed in the thing. I typed it in. Why is it not typing it? It probably would murder you, Mary. I feel like the combination of the condensed milk, and the fruit juice would probably, yes, your pancreas would not be happy. Your electronic pancreas would also not be happy with that. But I am looking forward to it. And whose suggestion? And graham cracker, right? Carbs and sugars. Whose suggestion was it? Was it Corvus?
It was Tallyfet, I believe.
Tallyfet. Okay. So yes, this is by the request of Tallyfet. All right. So I'm going to type this in, and then I'll get back to the actual project. Okay, well, whatever you're eating smells good.
Well, that's just rice.
Well, it's maybe it just smells good because I've eaten like 20 French fries today.
There's plenty of rice if you want me to save you some.
No,
if you have
I
anything
have.
to go on it. Oh, there's cake.
Oh, right, there's cake. That's totally a meal, right?
Yes.
Is anybody on the?
We toast it. It becomes breakfast
Bread,
for dinner.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody want to argue with us that cake is a meal?
Because if you do, show yourself out now.
This is a fairly complicated recipe. I'm really glad that Heather's making them tonight.
Yeah, I am.
Pineapple. Yes, now you get to look at my stupid, I'm typing face. All right. Control C that. And anything you put in your face is in BL. Cake has eggs and flour. It's true. Tell you about my new backdrop. So I got some feedback on the stream from a new viewer who's also a client. And she made some good points about the banner that I have been using, which is that it's a little bit busy and kind of, cuts around with different colors behind my head. And the branding isn't really visible in the frame because of the size of the frame. Like, you can't see all the branding on the banner. So it's just kind of busy for no reason. Okay, now we should have all right, we should have a recipe that is accurate. There we go. Keyline Martini is up in the Twitch chat for anybody who needs to get their liquors together for the live sales stream. Yeah, so we're trying something new. So this is actually a sorry, because I have this somewhat unhealthy obsession with saris, because every white girl needs like 20 saris, and no, I'm not even exaggerating with that number. But they're just so pretty. The patterns are so pretty. Everything is just so pretty. So yeah, so this is a sari, and I have a variety of different saris, so we may try some kind of rotating backdrops for the next couple of streams just to see what I like better. I like this one because it is our Beating Dreams, of course, branded color, which is pink, but I have some other ones as well that I might try on future streams. So we may have, like I said, we may have rotating backdrops for a while before I settle on a new one. But yeah, and then it was also pointed out to me, which is 100% accurate, that I've got my branding down there at the bottom of the screen, so I don't actually need it to be behind my head.
Especially since it doesn't show.
Especially since it doesn't show. Exactly. So yes, so we're trying this as something new and exciting. Saris are beautiful. They're gorgeous. And I do a lot of decorating with them, but once again, like what white girl needs 20 saris? Apparently that's this white girl. But I'm just generally, okay, so we're going to call this my next one. I'm just generally a textile junkie. I always have been. I mean, my first job when I was 15 years old was at Joann Fabrics, and I took home, I'm pretty sure, exactly $0 in pay from that job because I would spend it all on fabric. I do know how to sew. So now I'm starting my next one. So I put a crystal on and I'm finding the middle, and then I'm going to start the twisting process again. I do sew. Theoretically, I could take all of these saris that I have and I could make them into kimonos and things like that, you know, if I only had the time. Instead, I just buy them, and then every once in a while I pull them out and I pet them. And I tell them how pretty they are, and then I put them back in their little tub. But yeah, so this was a fun excuse to pull some of them out and have them maybe see the light of day.
That's what I do with my yarn.
Yep. Yeah, no, my yarn is in the tub of shame because I haven't touched. At least I pull the saris out every once in a while and pet them and tell them that they're pretty. Yarn I have not touched in a really long time. And I really should just get rid of all my yarn. I should gift it to somebody who's actually going to use it. But I, being a textile and fiber junkie, cannot bring myself to do that.
No, how could anyone?
So I've done my travel. Now I'm going to do another sprout. I just want to find which is my longer wire, and that's the one I'm going to use. Oh. Yes. But yeah, so that's the skinny on the new backdrop. And like I said, we're probably going to be rotating a bit. I need to find one that's flattering to my complexion, which Heather did in a non-creepy way say that this is. But I also need to find one that goes with all my outfits. Which this one actually totally goes with this kimono. Shockingly, that's especially fun because this isn't actually what I was wearing during my work day today. I threw it off the other day, and it was just sitting there because the one I wore for my work day today was very, very lacy and open work, and my earrings kept catching in it. And I was legitimately afraid that I was going to rip my ear open, which is no fun. Ooh, yay, Amy. So Amy is an amazing vintage estate sale hunter. She finds the coolest stuff. Amy, are you photographing because you're going to start something like an Etsy page or eBay listings? Is there something that we should know about for reselling your cool finds? So in a situation like this, where what I have is my two ends of my wire are actually even, then just pick one. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, and I think, all right, this is my third. I think for the sake of time, since we do have to get to our sale, I'm gonna skip the fourth and the fifth one, and I'm gonna start assembling this hair fork after I get this third one done. Etsy. Do you have a link that you can share, Amy, for your Etsy page? So again, it's just as simple as you make a sprout, and then you make a travel, and then you make a sprout, and then you make a travel. And you just do that for as long as you want your little vine to be? Oh boy. It was a bit of a day here at the Beating Dreams. It was stressful. It was busy. It was a good busy Saturday, but there was some other stress going on. Like,
there's still some stress going on. I'll tell you later.
okay. Yeah, oh boy. Oh well. At least our viewers aren't stressful. They're awesome. We like them. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting this hair fork together. So I had originally planned on 5, but I'm going to go ahead and stop at 3. Hey, I said change the frame. Because, once again, we do have a live merchandise sale to get to, and I want to start that sometime, you know, before 8 o'clock. So I've got my little vines, and I've got my hair fork. So I'm going to take these one at a time, and I'm going to just anchor them onto my hair fork. So I'm going to anchor them on this U-shaped part. And I'm just going to hold, I think so. I'm going to hold my wires across my hair fork. I'm just going to pinch, and then I'm just going to wrap around nice and tightly. All right, so 3 or 4 times. Like, once again, this is decorative, okay? Like, anybody, if you're having thoughts of, like, moshing in this hair fork, just don't do it. Just say no. Decorative use only. Exercise decorum whilst wearing. All right, make sure you do a good job of pressing your ends in because, again, they will catch on your hairs and they will rip them out of your head. Nobody likes that. It's not fun. I mean, I'm sure there's a market for that, but that's a different kind of stream. Though apparently not an OnlyFans stream anymore because they've decided to, you know, do the mainstream thing. All right, so once again, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to wrap it on. So I'm on number 2 now. Again, 3 times, 4 times. You don't need to, you're not sending this to the bottom of the ocean. We hope. And then once again, my pointy stabby bit needs to get tucked down. So we're just going to pull that around. And press down. Like so. And last one. Same. Alright, so we've got this wrapped on, trim it off. Alright, and now we're going to do the little decorative bits. And this part is really a little bit more art than science, but I've got my little vines here, so I want to do something cute here. So I guess I should actually find some teardrops. Teardrops. What color teardrops do I want to use? So many choices. How about some green ones? Assuming, of course, that I have more than 2 green ones. I've got 3. We're going for 5. Do I have 5 green ones? 4. And haha! Oh, I have 6. Cool. 5, 6. So when you are doing this embellishment part, it's once again, it's a little more art than science. I'm gonna start with just one of my scraps of wire, and when I've got teardrops like this, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put my wire through. I'm gonna fold it over, and then I'm just gonna twist it. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my next teardrop. So I'm going to put it through, put my wire through my teardrop, like so. And I've decided I want all of my small bits towards the center so it looks kind of like a flower. Fold it over, twist it, and third one. So if you want the small bits to the center, that means you put the small end onto the wire first, and then again, fold it over, rotate. I think I'm gonna go for 5. So that's 3. Again, small end goes on first. Fold it over, twist. All right, and we're gonna go with uno más, which is Spanish for one more. Okay, so I have this kind of cute little spray of crystals that is going to just go here. And just kind of arrange that artistically. So I'm going to just take that, and this is my wire that I'm going to use to attach. So I'm just going to wrap this around my hair fork, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the hair fork, and then I'm going to go in between these and just kind of fish it in between those little vines as well. That's awesome, Amy. Great name. Okay, so I'm just anchoring this on. Like so, and then once I feel like it's anchored on nice and firmly, I'm going to grab what I want to be kind of my main accent bead, which is this little hematite rose, and I'm going to thread that on there, and then just sort of pop that up and over the top of everything, and then just do a couple more anchors. And it's a little bit, you know, you've got to kind of just separate your little vines and such, because you don't want to, you know, grab these and anchor them down. Like, you want them to be sort of free floating and cool. And ooh, all right, I have to remember to go follow Amy's Instagram at the end of this stream. All right, and we're just gonna make sure we have that anchored off, and then I'm gonna go back to this beginning wire, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm just going to anchor it off on my hair fork like so. Now, and then I can trim these off. Now, if I wanted to go back and add more of these little vines, I absolutely could. So just because I'm done with this for now doesn't mean that I have to be done with it forever. So if at some future date I decide that I really do want to kind of zhuzh this up a little bit more and make more of these little sprouts, I absolutely can do that. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I can take my little sprouts, and I like to take all my little sprouts and kind of put them to the same side and do sort of this cascading kind of cherry blossom thing, but you really can do whatever you want. But either way, that's it. That is our Bun Bling decorative hair fork class. Ta-da! If I put it at the back of the Heather cam, you can't see it. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that's it. That's our decorative hair fork class. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on thanks Amy, on the Beading Dreams live tutorial stream this Saturday evening. Pretty brain stabber completed, but once again, don't actually stab yourself in the brain with it, okay? Try to just stab yourself in the head and not actually all the way through to the brain pan. But yeah, so that's our Bun Bling. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on the Beading Dreams live tutorial stream this Saturday evening. For anybody out there who doesn't know me, I'm Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. We are an actual brick and mortar retail bead store. We are here on Lover's Lane in Dallas, and we are open for business to feed your need to bead 6 days a week. We're here Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. If you're not local in Dallas, you can find us on this channel, twitch.tv/Beating Dream 5 times a week. That's where the number 5 came in, with complimentary tutorials. We do stream Wednesday through Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time, plus Thursdays at noon. Those are all complimentary tutorials, and then we do live merchandise sales every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7:30 or so p.m. Thanks, Farm Mom. It's good to see you out there. You have a good night, too. So that means we're going to be back in just about 30 minutes. Oh, look, I'm bleeding. In just about 30 minutes with our live merchandise sale on this channel, twitch.tv/Beating Dreams. So it is, of course, sips, shopping, and shenanigans. So if you're going to make yourself a Keyline Martini, go do that. Grab yourself some food, grab yourself some hydration, get comfy, get cozy, and get ready for some bead retail therapy in the comfort of your living room, office, or wherever it is you are no, right? You're watching the Beating Dreams stream. Seriously. Oh, look, I'm bleeding. Definitely something we say often at the Beating Dreams. All right, so I'm going to go get ready for the sale, finish closing up the store, and we'll see y'all back on this channel. Twitch.tv/Beating Dream in 30 minutes for the sale. If you're not going to join us for the sale, thanks for joining us for the tutorial, and hopefully we'll see you on another Beating Dreams stream very, very soon.